always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am Sarah, back with you again this week. I said last week that Keith would be back with us, but unfortunately that is not the case. We're hopeful, fingers crossed, that he'll be back next week. In the meantime, I have put together a show of clips from some of his past episodes, and the theme of this episode is, as you see from the title, rappers. So let's go ahead and get to our first topic of the day, and that deals with a rapper and an unexpected prize.
Today's entertainment news. Kendrick Lamar, folks. Yes, the rapper from Compton on Aftermath and Top Dog Records. He has done something that no other rapper has ever done before in the history of mankind. So, I mean, I can make you guess, but you probably wouldn't guess it. So, of course, he's gone platinum a few times. So that's not it. It's not it. He's rocked shows all over the world. So that's not it. He's made great albums. So that's not it. So what is it? Kendrick Lamar has recently just won the Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, it's considered like a hip hop, a triumph of sorts. Yeah, it is a triumph. I mean, it is a monumental moment in hip hop. So it's just really interesting too, because this has been a good year for Kendrick. You know, if you can recall, in 2015, he was nominated 11 times at the Grammys for his album "To Pimp a Butterfly," and it's a great record. It's a great experimental album, but he didn't take home anything. So, he got, that album lost to Taylor Swift's 1989. Yeah, so that was in 2015 that happened. So I was like, okay, all right, chalk it up for a loss. So, but, for the 60th Grammy Awards, this past February, he was nominated for his fourth studio album, Damn. And, well, that one took home the gold. He won a few Grammys for that one, so he did well. But yeah, it's just really interesting and fascinating that, because, the Pulitzer Prize usually goes to like award-winning journalists, and writers and things of that nature, And other musicians have won the Pulitzer Prize, but it's never been, a rap star, a hip hop artist. So, and I can recall too, a year ago, or has it been 2 years now, where where Prince and David Bowie and Maurice White, a lot of people we lost. And David Bowie stated before he died that he had been listening to Kendrick Lamar. So when you have a rock and roll icon like David Bowie stating that he likes Kendrick Lamar, I mean, that makes your ears and your eyebrow pop or perk up like, So if Bowie, who's a legend, who's musically brilliant, likes this rapper from Compton, what's going on with this guy, So, and Damn is a great album. I have that album. I bought that album 3 times. I've got the clean version, the collector's edition, and the regular version. So yeah, that's how much I like that record. So haven't had a chance to see him live yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's a great record, and it's a defining moment. And whenever any artist makes a great record, a lot of times it's hard to, you can't reproduce that moment again. You can only move on and evolve from there. But it's always, that's what's the great thing about art, whether it's, music, painting, poetry, whatever you're doing as an artist, it's always a moment in time that's being, encapsulated. So, this is a great thing for Kendrick. So very, very happy for him. So, I mean, this happened this past Monday. he's the first non-classical or jazz artist to win the Pulitzer Prize. So, in 75 years of the Pulitzer Prize for music, no hip hop album has ever been nominated. So he made history. So we're happy for you, Mr. Lamar. Keep up the good work. It's good stuff. Yeah, I'm still in shock about that. That's amazing. So, and in more news, JayZ's secret son accuses rapper of avoiding paternity test for 8 years. Now that's the headline, but it has not been proven that he is JayZ's son. That's allegedly still. So, but it is very interesting. So let's dig in. Let's dig in. The paternity saga continues with JayZ's alleged son, Raymir Satterthwaite. The 24-year-old claims the rapper has managed to play the court system for 8 years in order to avoid taking a DNA test. He now has an upcoming paternity trial in Philly in December and says this is not about lining his pockets or making a come up off of Hov's legacy. I don't want money or anything like that from JayZ, he said in an exclusive interview with Sun Online. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world. Raymir, an aspiring musician, claims he has been denied the right to have a fair hearing in court because of legal mistakes and malpractice. Okay, well, if there's been legal mistakes and malpractice and you're stating that, okay, so that usually means that you can't blame JayZ for that. That's from what you're stating so far in that regard. He's supposed to be a positive role model for our community. Quote, he stands there screaming Black Lives Matter. Well, tell the truth and take responsibility, he added. And if you say I'm not your son, nothing ever happened with my mom, then just take the test. If you're telling the truth, then why is your first answer whenever you're asked to take a paternity test? No. I want a fair due process in court, regardless of who my father is or how rich he is. There's also a picture of JayZ off of in my Lifetime Volume 1. There's the record cover and Raymir making the same pose. I mean, there's a similarity. I mean, he could be JayZ's son, but there's no concrete proof. I mean, it's possible, but I'm looking at the picture of the two of them, and I can't say that he's a dead ringer. I'm not going to say that. He could be. This could go either way, literally. It really could. Story. Raymir was first told by his mother, Wanda, that she believed, the Jigga, or Hov, as he's called, he's got a few different nicknames, JayZ, was his father when he was around 8. Wanda has claimed that she hooked up with JayZ, then known as Rock, in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in Brooklyn after he picked her up from Philadelphia. Okay. According to the report, the pair allegedly used protection, but it failed. And aside from a visit from Jay 2 weeks later, Wanda and Mr. Carter never saw each other again, and she had no idea how to contact him. Although her live-in boyfriend, Robert Graves, was originally listed on the birth certificate, he was legally removed in 2001 after a DNA test proved he was not the father. Ouch. Yeah. JayZ has never publicly spoken about the case, but his lawyer stated that the rapper is not an interested party with respect to the custody of Raymir Satterthwaite. In legal papers filed in 2011, he added there has been no determination or viable claim of familial relationship with Mr. Carter. Okay. Satterthwaite is desperate to prove JayZ is actually his dad, and he's sick of people assuming he is making up the claims in order to jumpstart his career. Now, I will say this, for what we just heard and the description that his mother gave about how she met him, it sounds pretty detailed. I mean, it could be made up, but it just sounds very detailed and kind of specific. So it just makes this more interesting, more intriguing. Whenever you have people with lots of money against ordinary people, it's going to be a fight. But I believe the system was more on his side than on mine. Than on mine. I didn't get a fair due process in court. I never got my chance to talk, he said. It got pushed to the side, and basically now I walk around and everybody's looking at me and saying, he's chasing JayZ. He wants money. He's trying to get his 15 minutes of fame. This never about money for me. My whole thing was just to see who my father was. And honestly, I get my own money. I work 2 jobs. I take care of my business. I've got a positive family behind me that helps me with everything I do. It wasn't like I needed anything. I just needed closure, and I wanted respect from the courts. Just like everybody else goes in there and gets respect and gets a fair due process, why didn't I get that? Why did I just get brushed to the side? Is it because of somebody's name? Is it because somebody was getting paid off? I will never know, he added. We're all equal in this world, and no one should think they're better than somebody just because they can pay 40 or 50 lawyers to fight for you. That doesn't make you better than nobody. That makes you a coward. Mr. Satterthwaite feels very strongly about this. Ramir, if I'm saying his name right, who works at a restaurant and at a pet store as well as writing and recording music, said no one gets fame off chasing JayZ. He said, this is one of the most powerful men in music right now. What am I getting from chasing him, screaming that he's my father? I'm getting nothing out of it. I've been hearing this so much, and it makes me sick because I bust my butt working day today, and I take care of myself, and I take care of my family. Well, so when there's more news in regards to what happens with Mr. Ramir Satterthwaite and whether or not JayZ takes a paternity test, well, when we find out, you'll know too.
And it's time to take our first break of the podcast. A little gossip there in that section. When we come back, we'll be looking at a little more entertainment news / entertainment gossip dealing with rappers. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and we will be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com /movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Before the break, Keith was talking about JayZ and possible paternity issues, and figured a good segue was to move to Drake and possible paternity issues. So let's see what Keith has to say about that story.
And in more news, Drizzy Drake, also known as Drake, reportedly hit with many claims of paternity. So before we go into the story, folks, this is a response article in regards to the ongoing rap beef between Pusha T and Drake. So on Pusha T's new album called Daytona, there's a song called Infrared, and on that song, he basically takes shots at Lil Wayne, and Drake states that Lil Wayne is a multimillionaire who's forced to still work, a multi-platinum rapper who's forced to still work to make ends meet. He also states that he implies that Drake has a ghostwriter whose name is Quentin, who writes the songs for Drake. So then Drake responded with the rap diss track called Duppy Freestyle, where he basically says that Pusha T is not a real drug dealer and that his brother's not even with him. He states that, in in the song "You Have No Malice in Your Heart." Malice is Pusha T's brother's rap name from when they were in the group together called The Clips. So then Pusha T made a diss track back at Drake called "The Story of Adidon," where he found a picture of Drake wearing blackface when he was a younger man. Drake did explain that image later on in regards to how it was a protest to the injustices that were done to African-American actors trying to get work in Hollywood. But within that diss track that Pusha T put out, the response to Drake, he allegedly outed Drake for having a love child with the porn star, Sophie Brousseau. And he also took shots at Drake's parents within the song. So this has been going on for the past week or so. So this article I'm about to read you is a response to the story of Adidon, where Pusha T said, "Hey, you have a son. You need to don't be a deadbeat dad and love the porn star mother." I'm paraphrasing, of course. So this article I'm reading is basically in response to that. As it states before, allegedly Drake has been hit with many claims of paternity, and he is a rap superstar. So, these things can happen. You can be any type of superstar, and these things can happen, whether you're an athlete, rapper, actor. So I digress. Okay. So Sophie Brousseau is not the only woman that believes Drake could have fathered her child. When Pusha T responded to Drake's Duppy freestyle and made claims that the Canadian was a deadbeat dad that didn't support his secret child, the internet went wild. As we wait for Drizzy's response on record, and yes, folks, that's his nickname, like Kanye's nickname is Yeezy, and Lil Wayne's nickname is Weezy, and then Drake is Drizzy. I can't even make this up. I don't. So, he has already addressed the controversial photos showing him in blackface. The allegations may seem to be unfounded, but Drake may have reason to believe that the baby is actually his. With reports claiming that he has been financially supporting Sophie Brousseau since her pregnancy, Drake is apparently willing to take a DNA test to prove the legalities surrounding baby Adonis. This is a step he has not taken in the past, as according to a TMZ, associate. Sophie is not the first woman to claim she has had Drake's baby. The media outlet states that the sixth god, I still have to figure out what that term comes from. I have to do some research on that, as his nickname, has been hit with numerous claims of paternity, which, if we're being completely honest, is not all that surprising given his celebrity status, of course. However, what makes this new information relevant is the fact that Drake is planning to take a DNA test to determine his relation to Sophie's child, a step he has already taken in the past. A step he has rarely taken in the past. Drake has reportedly always stood his ground against women that he has had sex with, saying that if there's proof he has fathered their child, he will support them. And that is the stand-up thing to say and do, of course. However, with claims coming even from women that he has never been intimate with, it's slightly difficult to keep track of these things. And that's the downside of celebrity status, definitely. While Drake's team initially was unsure of Brousseau's claims, claiming she has a very questionable background, Drake reportedly believes there's a chance she could be telling the truth. The child has blue eyes and blonde hair, which was off-putting to certain members of his entourage. But when the singer's schedule clears up, a DNA test will be performed. Okay, and when we get more news about Drake's baby daddy issues, we'll let you know. So, keeping up with Kanye, keeping up with Kanye. It's back. Kanye West argues wearing small sandals is the Japanese way. Okay, so yeah, you're going to get a double dose of Kanye. After his footwear made headlines at 2 Chainz's wedding, Kanye West took to Twitter to explain his shoe style. The gold digger rapper and his wife, Kim Kardashian, attended the Miami nuptials between 2 Chainz and Keisha Ward earlier this month. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star wore a neon green dress, a shade she'd been rocking all week, while her husband donned a mint green suit. However, it was his footwear that raised a few eyebrows. Not only did Yeezy head rock a sock and sandal combination, but he also wore shoes that appeared to be a few sizes too small. But on Tuesday, West explained he had actually been wearing his sandals the Japanese way. He also tweeted pictures of what appeared to be a version of the traditional Japanese shoe, the Gita. The straps should be snug but not too tight between the toes. Part of the illustration read, it's also stated your heel should extend 1 to 2 centimeters off the back of the wooden sole. So what does Kardashian think of his shoe style? While the reality star didn't comment on the look, she did rock a similar sock and sandal combination in July. There you go. And I'm looking at it. So, yeah, and all I have to say is, yeah, I'm just not wearing sandals that are too small for my feet. I'm not doing that. But hey, you know, you're Kanye West. I guess you can pull it off. So, all right. So I know my limits when it comes to fashion. Some things I'll never wear. You won't see me in spandex. It's just not going to happen. It would just be inappropriate for me to do. So, but you know, there's other things I look better in. So I'm okay with that. You know, one size does not fit all. That's a lie. Kanye West talks Drake. The story of Adidon and slavery was a choice. New article, new interview today, actually. Kanye West is in fine form doing an emotional interview. And you can actually watch you can watch this video interview too. Kanye West is currently sitting down for a conversation on Chicago's 107.5 WGCI, in which a wide variety of topics were and are discussed at length. When asked about Pusha T's The Story of Adidon and Drake, Yeezy opened up about the fallout. It hits me in a really sensitive place, he explains, because you like hang around people and they come to your house and be around your family and this and that, and then they get mad about a beat and then send you purple demon emojis. He also felt Drake was being insensitive to a situation, given the proximity to the infamous TMZ incident. I feel that it was insensitive for Drake to, in any way, stress me out in any way after TMZ. While I'm in Wyoming healing, pulling all the pieces together, working on my music, and we'll reconcile that one day because we got work to do. And these voices is just too powerful. But okay, before I go on with the article, so I understand where Kanye West is coming from. Like he feels like Drake was being insensitive, but do you understand where Drake was coming from? Your artist Pusha T made a diss record that said way too much, that went way too personal. That other MCs and hip hop legends like Ice Cube also stated that you go a little too far. You don't talk about people's parents, and you just. Even though for a lot of people out in this world today, they think there aren't rules in hip hop, but there are rules in hip hop. People just forgot that. So I get that Kanye feels like Drake was being insensitive, but, I think you were being insensitive to Drake, because Pusha T is your artist and you knew what that song was going to do and you let it go out. So, you have to claim some responsibility in that regard. That's a two-way thing. So, and one might say that you're being insensitive and that you might have a lot of nerve and audacity to say that you think that he was insensitive to you because of what you went through on TMZ, of actually what you put yourself through on TMZ. So, and I'm a Kanye fan and I'm a Drake fan. I like both, I like their music, but yeah, I think you're being very subjective in what you said in that regard, but let's finish this article. But I want to say that to you. He also appeared to address Jimmy Kimmel's "Does Donald Trump care about black people?" comments, providing what seems to be a thoughtful answer. I feel that Trump cares about the way black people feel about him, and he would like for black people to like him like they did when he was cool in the rap songs and all this. That's an accurate statement. Yeah, I do believe that. Yes. He would do the things that are necessary to make that happen because he's got an ego like all the rest of us. Yes, I agree. And he wants to be the greatest president, and he knows that he can't be the greatest president without the acceptance of the black community. So it's something he's going to work towards, but we're going to have to speak to him. Okay. Yeah. I agree. Kanye West is on point with that. Clarifying his infamous slavery comment, Kanye attempts to add some context, claiming that it sounded like a choice specifically to the spirit of Kanye West, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Harriet Tubman, which I think is aligned with the spirit of Nat Turner. He proceeds to speak on how speaking in English is a form of slavery, as it's not even his native tongue of Swahili. Okay. I am not crazy, but I can definitely go there if pushed, he admits, explaining he has ways of controlling it. I have the luxury version of mental health. Still, that doesn't stop him from adding his own insight, claiming we have all We all have undiagnosed mental health issues. He says the biggest stigma of being called crazy is you instantly get written off, that you don't know what you're talking about. That's true. It's one of the stigmas. I agree. I want to take this moment right now to say I'm sorry for the 1-2 effect of the MAGA hat into the slave comment, says JayZ. I'm sorry to people who felt let down by that moment. JayZ's apology literally brings one of the hosts to tears as she says, your voice is so powerful. You have the ability to make changes for the African American community. Kanye responds by asking, can I have a hug? So, very cool.
Well, I have to say, as we go into our second break, whatever your feelings about Kanye, whether you like his music, don't like his music, agree with him, don't agree with him, he's never boring. I'll give him that. You are listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and we will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, this special Rappers edition. And we're moving on now to a couple of segments that Keith did on about 50 Cent. So here we go. We'll just get right back to Keith and that entertainment news.
And in more entertainment news, 50 Cent shredded for mocking Terry Crews' sexual assault accusation. 50 Cent was beat up pretty hard on social media Tuesday after the rapper mocked Terry Crews on Instagram over his allegation that he was sexually assaulted. Brooklyn Nine-Nine star Crews testified before a Senate Judiciary Committee about sexual abuse on Tuesday and revealed during his testimony that he will not appear in The Expendables 4 due to a dispute with producer Avi Lerner over his ongoing sexual harassment lawsuit against William Morris Endeavor agent Adam Bennett. During the hearing, Crews said that the Lerner called his manager and said that Crews would have to drop the lawsuit in order to have a role in the film. When asked by the committee if he agreed, Crews said he would have no role in the upcoming sequel and know that Lerner and his production company, Millennium Films, are under their own investigation after a former female employee filed a lawsuit claiming the company fostered a misogynistic work environment. Wow. 50's contribution to the topic posted early Tuesday was less than sympathetic, to put it charitably. The rapper posted an image of a shirtless Crews, which bore the words, "I got raped and my wife just watched." A second photo featured the actor with the rose stem clenched between his teeth and the message, "Gym time." LOL, quote, "LOL, what the F is going on out here, man? Terry, I froze in fear," the rapper wrote, including a laughing emoji. They would have had to take me to jail. Crews filed a civil suit against WME and Bennett related to an incident in 2016 when Crews accused Bennett of groping him at a Hollywood party. Bennett was suspended by WME for 30 days while an investigation was held, but the agency ruled that while he would be demoted from his position as head of the motion picture department, he would be allowed to stay on as an agent. The Los Angeles City Attorney's Office declined to prosecute Bennett, saying that the incident fell outside the statute of limitations. I mean, and statute of limitations is a real serious thing when it comes to the law. So timing can be everything, unfortunately. Critics of the rapper's commentary on the matter flooded the replies section of the Instagram post with messages of disapproval. Do humanity a favor and leave the freaking planet already, read one response. You're really a piece of crap for this, read another response. Stop being stupid, Curtis, read another reply, referring to the rapper by his given name, Curtis Jackson III. 50 really ain't crap for this, went another reply. This ain't nowhere near funny. You're a complete piece of crap. I'm censoring this, of course. Cash doesn't buy class. Definitely won't be supporting Power since your company produces it. Read another criticism referring to 50 Cent Star's series Power. Aren't you being sued? Not smart enough to know when to STFU. That's a abbreviation for shut the freak up. The post was later removed from 50 Cent's Instagram account. The rapper published another post stating, "Man, I like Terry Crews. I just can't wrap my head around all this." Yeah, well, there it is. And in more entertainment news, 50 Cent, excuse me. 50 Cent shares police report of Floyd Mayweather's son detailing his dad's violence toward his mother. Yeah, this is getting ugly. So, if you've been following the 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather drama on Instagram, then no doubt you've been thoroughly entertained by their shenanigans of spilling the tea about each other's personal lives. After the G-Unit rapper said Floyd was responsible for the death of his late friend and his wife, the Power star is now bringing Floyd's son into the mix. On Tuesday night, 50 shared a years-old police report from Floyd's son, Karan, I believe, and it's spelled Karaun, that reveals Floyd was allegedly physically abusive towards his mother. I saw my dad was on my mom, and my mom said to go to the office. My dad was hitting her, the police report says. 50 left the following caption with the post. Damn, champ. You and Karan have a good relationship. What happened here? Get the strap. That seems to be his thing to say in his Instagram posts. Get the strap. Can someone please explain to me what that means? Get the strap. Are you going to whip somebody with the belt? I mean, is that the strap a gun? I mean, what is the strap? Please explain. It's synonymous with his post. I'm just trying to figure out what it means. But get the strap for what? Maybe someone will tell me soon. Shortly after that post, 50 Cent shared another questionable photo of Floyd. This time he appears too close for comfort with P. Diddy, as if the two were about to kiss. The rapper asked fans to leave some captions for the photo, saying, "What you think they were saying? Laugh out loud. Get the strap," he captured. Here we go again with this so-called, with the strap. Okay. You need to show a picture of the strap or something, 50, so we know what you're talking about. Shortly after Fifth's police report went up, Floyd's son, Kareem, responded to the accusation saying, "All good over here. Worry about your family first," he captioned, and the post aimed at 50. There you go. So he's like, don't put me into it with you and my dad. Apparently, Karan is neutral. And Toronto's favorite son, the man who brought you in my feelings and God's plan. And fancy. So Drake moves to trademark God's plan. His famous song, which has a phenomenal, amazing video. Let's see what this is about. It looks like Drake has big plans for God's plan. According to documents obtained by Page 6 on Tuesday, the 31-year-old rapper has filed an application to trademark the phrase, which he borrowed for the title of his 2018 song, God's Plan. The July 31st filing suggests that Drizzy plans to use the phrase for music, clothing, marketing, promotional purposes, and what looks to be a game show that will air on television and the internet. Okay. Presented as part of the evidence for his claim on the trademark are screenshots of the God's Plan's music video, its Wikipedia page, and coverage of the song in various media outlets noted. Okay. Wow. So, all right. Well, if he gets that trademark, hey, it might be a game changer. Most definitely. Very catchy and great song. And in more entertainment news, Will Smith shows off intense workout. If it's not on Instagram, it didn't happen. Will Smith is giving himself a birthday present this year. Tickets to the gun show. The 49-year-old actor took to Instagram on Wednesday to share a video of his hardcore workout, explaining that he's focusing on his fitness as he prepares to celebrate his milestone birthday. He'll be 50 this year. Wow. I'm here in the Bahamas kicking off our hardcore hell week with my man Ulysses. And that's spelled Ulisses. We out here. He gonna get me right. He gonna get the gun show started. Smith says in this clip as he documents his workout with his trainer. It's not on Instagram. If it's not on Instagram, it didn't happen. I turned 50 this year. I'm about to get into the best shape of my life. Don't believe me? Just watch. At Ulysses World at cousin_Ricky, he captioned the video. Aiden. And then you see him on Twitter. You see his tweet, and he's looks like he's definitely working out. He's puffed up. Okay. Smith has been celebrating a lot of milestones lately. Earlier this month, he marveled at how long he and his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, have been together. I just realized this year we've been together more than half our lives. Jada Pinkett Smith wrote alongside a selfie of the pair. The longtime couple married in 1997, but began dating in 1995, just before Smith's divorce from his first wife, Cherie Zampino, was finalized. They've been together for about 23 years. How did we switch roles today? You write something sentimental, and I'm trying to be funny on my Insta. LOL. The 46-year-old girls trip star quipped in the comments on her husband's post. But can you believe it? A whole lot of growth and miracles along the way. I'm proud of us. Yeah, good for them. 23 years. Wow. And Iggy Azalea reveals she's dating NFL star DeAndre Hopkins. Picture of Miss Azalea and DeAndre. Okay. Iggy Azalea just scored a big touchdown in the romance department after describing herself as extremely single. Ooh, ouch. It appears as if the rapper has a new boo in her life. In a series of flirty Instagram comments, Iggy and NFL star DeAndre Hopkins confirmed they are in fact an item and clearly loving every moment of the honeymoon phase. Romance rumors sparked after Hopkins, who plays for the Houston Texans, captioned a photo of himself. My Aussies call me legend. To which Azalea replied, I could think of a few other things to call you. When a fan asked if he was the Australian MC's boyfriend, he responded, yes, indeed. Iggy also confirmed their relationship status, describing the pro football player as her man. It remains unseen whether or not Iggy and DeAndre are the real deal or more along the lines of Nicki Minaj Eminem situation. But the Cream performer has been single and ready to mingle for quite some time. During a recent appearance on E's Daily Pop, the 28-year-old confessed that she's so alone and very much interested in dating someone outside the music industry. And at the very least, DeAndre checks that box. Azalea was previously engaged to pro basketballer Nick Young, but called things off a year later when she allegedly caught him cheating on home security footage. Yeah. Ouch.
We're going to wrap up this episode of GSMC Entertainment News. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, do me a favor and send some good vibes out into the universe for Keith. He's okay, just taking care of some stuff, but send out some good vibes so he's back here next week and you get to listen to him and not me, or not me transitioning to more Keith, but actual Keith, right? So yeah, send those vibes out into the universe and hey Keith, come on back, we miss you. Thank you so much for listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Join us again next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.